Hello, this is Jill with Daffodils Galleria. Today I'm going to be showing you how I'm making my Christmas cards. I didn't have any pre-purchased and I'm very late in sending them out. I finished everything else for Christmas way early and then I remembered, oh gee, I need to do some Christmas cards. So I want to show you basically what it's going to look like. I haven't even finished one, but it's going to look like this at the end. These are just some cards I had on hand, and I searched the internet for this music, Joy to the World, to print out, and I printed them out, and then I cut them into, at first I was going to do them on A4 cardstock, and then I remembered, oh, I have these cards, so I might as well use them instead. So that's what I'm going to do. And I've just got, so I'll show you that. Paper, a little piece of tissue paper to put behind it. And then I'm going to put all that together. Then on the bottom of it is where I'm going to write in calligraphy underneath. How does that work? You wonder. Well, I'm going to show you. Anyway, we're going to put one together, and I hope you like it. So pay attention. And that's it. No, and just watch. Okay, so first thing I did was I printed these off. I scaled them to A4 cardstock size and then printed 2 to page, thinking I was originally going to send them on A4 cards, or A6. And just in case you don't know what an A6 card is, it's this size. It's my typical, this is what I use for my stationery that I sell. This is not one that I would probably sell because I didn't make the envelope and everything. I just use these for my personal use. Anyway, okay, so the first thing I do is I like to make things as easy as possible. I'm going to take 1, 2, I think I could probably get away with 3 sheets at a time. How many did I do before? I did it once before and it worked out pretty well. So this is what they're going to look like afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I made 8. So I'm going to do 4 sheets at a time. And this is the simplest part. I probably don't even need to do this because you're smart enough, I would hope, to know how to use a paper cutter, but maybe not. I just line it up. I always have the hardest time with making sure my edges are straight, straight, straight. So these little rims here on the side of the paper cutter are so helpful for that. I'm going to treat you like you're all idiots. Teach you every little thing. I used to be a trainer in a previous past life, and boy, you can't miss any steps. Okay, so let's see if I can help you out here with this. Moving. Hold on to your hats and glasses. It's going to be a wild and crazy ride. I don't know if you can see. I can't get the right angle. This will be, all right. After much carrying on about, that's the best angle I can find. So I want to cut it right. Just shave off the barely tip of the top, and I got too much, but oh well. Since it's not going exactly on the card, see I cut too much of the color off. My goal is to cut the tiniest fragment of the color off. When I turn it to the side, it gets easier because I can actually line the edge of the coloring up with the groove. That little groove right there in the cutting device. Paper cutter here has, see that groove right there? So I'm lining it up right with that. Okay. And we're going to slice it all the way across and say a small prayer as we do it. See how good we did. Oh, we did pretty good on that one. Okay. Each time I'm straightening out my pages to make sure they're flush and secure. Going back to that little groove with the line. Making sure it's flush against this side. Now we're in question though, because if your one cut was off, the whole thing's going to be off. It's really not that important though. Don't be ridiculous about things. That's my motto. Ridiculousness only makes life harder. Huh. Perfectionism makes life harder too. Okay. Lining it up. That's the hardest part. My crazy nails. I was playing with my nails the other day. Okay. 2 more cuts and we should be good. I try to do as many at once because, you know, consider an assembly line, right? Hey, lift up. Okay. All right. So once you have all of your top part, you can use whatever you want. It doesn't have to be this Joy to the World music. It can be anything you want, obviously. Picture of your family, I don't know. And then we're going to do the tracing paper. And this tracing paper is lost, of course, like my whole world is lost. It is a standard tracing paper pad size, 9 by 12 inches. That's a little bit different than a typical piece of paper. Obviously, a normal piece of paper is 8.5 by 11, and I think they make it bigger so you can trace over an 8.5 by 11 sheet. But this, you can get this, I'm sure I got this at Hobby Lobby. I live there half the time. So I'm going to take 2 sheets at once. I don't trust myself with more than 2 with this part. Okay. And we're going to keep them together. We're going to fold them exactly in half. I don't know where I put my bone folder. I don't really need it because we're just doing it to get good lines for cutting. This is the easiest way to make cuts, I swear. Okay. You just want to get a good groove there and then do the same thing again. Don't even open it up, because if you open it up, you run more risk of misaligning the 2 pages. Okay. Now we have that. And we're going to open them up. Bring our cutting. What is this called? Paper cutter, paper trimmer, I don't know. Back into play and line it up on the groove. And I don't know why, but tracing paper likes to bunch up, which is another good reason to cut 2 at once. And this time I am going to go and be brave and do all 4 sheets. Hopefully they won't bunch up. If they do, I might swear. Yeah, right. I'm not a big swearer. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, and see, there's that little ridge. Oh, yes, that worked good. Okay. So, that's your assembly line way to make your backings. All right. We'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to glue, secure, let's just use that word, secure the top paper to the tracing paper. I think I have more than one sheet here. Huh. You little suckers. Okay, and I'm just going to use one of these tape rolls to tape it to the top. And what I'm going to do is I want it to be able to lift up. Even though there's nothing going to be on this paper here, I just want it, to me, it just gives it a little touch of elegance that it might not otherwise have. And I always screw up these things, how to work with them. I've got to remember, there's little ridges on here, and I hold it on this. And this is a permanent adhesive tape roller that I use a lot. I love these things. So I'm going to get it as close as I can to the edge and just roll it out. Ta-da. And now comes the hard part. That's where I like the grid on my mat. We're going to hopefully get it as centered as possible. Again, perfectionism is not anything I ever require of myself because I would die. And I just push it down. And there we go. See there? Very nice. Oh, of course it's crooked. Good job. I think I have a little bit of time to work with it. Oh, maybe not. Nope, it's stuck. Stuff works good. Okay, well that one will be for my mother who never judges. Oh, Jill, you're terrible. That's the first step. The next step. Now here's the thought that I was debating on. The next step is actually to write whatever it is you're going to write on your card, and then we'll glue these down last. So hold on, we'll go to that step too. Okay, so after much playing and hemming and hawing around, this is what I've come up with. I was going to do it in calligraphy myself, and I just don't trust myself, and I wanted it to look sort of in alignment with this old world theme of the cardstock with the line around it and the way it's formed and stuff. I just kind of I wanted it to look a little more printed, I guess. That doesn't make sense when calligraphy is print, but so this is what it's going to look like at the end, and I'll show you how I did this here in just a second. Much experimenting had to happen first. So it's going to look like this. We're going to stick that on there, and then if people look it up, lift it up, and it'll say Merry Christmas underneath there. Am I showing that well? So it'll be like that. Ta-da! And ta-da. Okay, so we'll do this all together here. I'll show you exactly how I did the stamp on the card. It was, first of all, I had to find the right marker. I've not really been a big stamp person. I enjoy them a lot. I can't say I have a million. I have a few. I have done a few Christmas cards before with Christmas stamps, but this is one I just happen to have on hand, and I've never done it in two-tone colors like this, but you can see from the stamp it was printed that way, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of cute. Now, how could I get that? So I had to play with all my different markers, and if you can believe it, this is a set of markers I got at IKEA. They're their M-A-L-A Mala markers. They were $1 for a set of, I think, 10 or 12. Best deal ever. And these things work great. I'll show you too. I mean, they work for all different forms of lettering. You can even do, let's see, what should I write? We'll just write my name. It gives you a really nice, I can't write and talk, sorry. Thin and thick point. That's not so great, but you can really define. There's the upstroke, lift your pen, bring it down for the downstroke, lift your pen, like that. See how I did that? That for the downstroke, it's thick. These are great pens. When I first bought them, I was shocked how great they worked. Okay, so I'll show you what I do. These are the strips that I cut off from the Joy to the World papers. We're just going to have one handy here. So you got to kind of work fast because you don't want the ink to dry too much. I tried it with the Tombos. That didn't work. I don't know why, but I think there's just more ink coming off of the pen on these. So what I'm going to do is just color really fast and pretty as heavy as I can get it on the parts that I want green and red respectively. And you don't have to really be careful. The most important part is to get that raised part colored really good. And don't get the wrong color on the wrong part, because guess what? It does transfer. Like if you scribble off the raised part, and that's no big deal, because hopefully that won't transfer. Okay, so there's that. I'm not even going to bother putting the cap on because I don't have time. I'm going to show you a sample. Actually, I trust myself, right? We're gonna do another card. Okay, so get another card. And I don't want anything underneath the bottom, so I don't want any raised. Now I'm gonna stand up just so I can kind of eyeball the center. Oh shoot, I moved it. It's probably gonna be blurred. We'll see. Press pretty good and lift. Yep, it's blurry, but you know what? It is what it is. Maybe the person won't notice, right? So we're gonna do another one. I don't think you can get 2 stamps. That's the big pain with doing it this way. That one turned out pretty good. We're gonna test just to see if I can get another stamp on here. Hey, let it go. Ah, yeah, you could. It's not as deep of tones, but you could get another one. Okay, so rule number 1, don't move. Rule number 2, don't move. Be fast, be careful, but don't move. We're gonna do one more of these, and then we will put them all together and I'll show you the rest. The final. It's pretty easy. I just wanted something I could get done quickly. I think the thing that takes the longest of doing these, honestly, is going to be this part right here, because I have to do one at a time. So depending on how many cards you have, it could be a pain. I've done upwards of 100 cards in a year. This year, I'm not going to do that many. Okay, here we go. It's nerve-wracking. I got 2 cards, but that's okay. Just eyeballing it. Oh, I think I rubbed it again. Darn it. No, turned out pretty good. There's a little spot there that it's missing, but you know what? That's okay. Imperfection is my perfection. That's what I say. All right, so there you have it. We'll come right back and we're going to assemble the whole thing. Okay, so it's really easy. I mean, sometimes I feel like, is it really necessary to show this step? But yes, you know, that's the way you do it. So the last part, we're going to take the tape runner and run it right on the edge of the back of the tracing paper. Like I said, I can't talk and do very well. If I'm focused on something, I can't talk while I'm doing it. Okay. Now, again, I'm just going to make this straight to my eye. I'm going to stand up, because when you stand up, you can see it better, and you're directly over the center. I put my eyes where I'm seeing exactly the center of the thing. I'm going to just place it on here where I think it looks good. And I'm lining up this top line with the line on the card. And I'm leaving a little more line at the bottom. A little more right to left as well. I didn't mean to do that, but that's basically it. So there you go. It's kind of cute. And you can write on the back of the card, you know, if you want to personalize a note to somebody, you can do that. I'll show you my envelopes that came with this little set. I think I got this set for cheapo. And I'm probably going to decorate the envelope just a little bit too. So I'll probably, yeah, I'll add that to show you what I do to the envelope. I'm just going to stamp it. Okay, we're all set up. First thing I'm going to do, I have an anti-static pad that I have for use. What you do is you just run it over the surface of whatever you're going to emboss. I don't know why I did the whole thing, because I'm not going to do the whole envelope, but that's okay. I'll leave that out. Okay, we're doing this all for the first time together. We're going to pray it works out. I did re-ink my embossing pad. Not going to lie to you. Keeping it real. Okay, so this is my little stamp. It says, "Behold, a child is born." Kind of goes with the theme. Joy to the world, behold, a child is born. You get it. So it's a little bit bigger than my pad. I'm just going to ink it pretty good. And I'm going to put it right here to the left corner of where the address should be. The address I'm going to put over here. Ta-da! And now I have this cool embossing glitter powder that I found somewhere in my world. This is how I do it. I just shake it all over it. Make sure it gets fully covered. And then I just have a card that I have saved for a bazillion years. It's just a folded piece of cardstock. Pour that onto there. Check to make sure it's all good. There's a little spot that I see that I'm missing. I don't know if I don't have embossing fluid on there. If I don't, too late now. That's the thing about stamping. If it ain't perfect the first time, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, we're just gonna set that aside. Have my heat tool. And sometimes you can take a small paintbrush if you want to and pull away the extra remnants. Again, it's not perfect, and I kind of like that because I'm wanting it to go with the antique-y looking theme. This is my favorite part. I don't know why, but this is like magic to me, where it turns to a solid. Ta-da! Oh, that's so cool! I don't know why I love that, but I do. And there you go. That didn't take long. Ta-da! So that's it. Our Christmas cards are done. And see, the nice thing about doing this is you can use it back and forth and back and forth. And then when you're done and you can have leftovers, uh-oh. You go like this, and it pours right back into your container. I'm not gonna do it because I have plenty more to do. Anyway, so there's your finished Christmas card set. How cool is that? So I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful season. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I hope that you do. But if you don't, think about it a little bit and come up with a reason why you give gifts to each other. And yeah, thanks for following me and for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little bit of something. This was a really easy project. So take care. God bless you all, and Merry Christmas.